Good evening, everyone. I would also like to thank the Jordan family this evening for giving me the privilege to speak about Rudy tonight. I am, in fact, just a substitute here tonight, because if little Rudy was here, he would be standing right here. There's nothing I wouldn't give to be sitting right there to watch him talk about his father, even if it was just for a few minutes. In 1971, I had a chance to meet Rudy in the gym class, and as we were walking home, he gave me the story about his sisters and his brothers and his mom. And as the pastor just said right now, he told me about his dad. I said, listen, my dad is a really nice guy, let me tell you something. He tells the corniest jokes. Boy, he wasn't kidding. They were pretty corny. And you had to laugh because they were so corny. The Jordan home at 749 over on Bradshaw Street was a reality show before there was reality. To go down there, to meet the people, as you all look around tonight, you could probably see all the friends and all of the family, that home was the conduit to our friendships. It was everything, it was always something happening there. And if you weren't there, you felt like you were missing something. I can still remember going, sometimes, and Mrs. Jordan, I don't know how she did it. To this day, I still don't know how she did it, but I know that her and Ida and Lola would be sitting there, and somehow or another, when we came home, they know exactly everything that happened that day at school. It was like social media and Facebook before it was ever came. But they did. They knew everything that was happening. I don't know how they did it, but boy, they had the goods on us. But at the end of the day, it was Rudy who was the ringleader. Unlike the reality shows and Celebrity Today that are manufactured, Rudy's celebrity was not manufactured. It was real. He was a real man. He was of substance and significance. As many of you can attest here today, he helped so many people in so many ways. Although he lived on Bradshaw, his residence really was at the intersection of compassion and accountability. He saw when he was growing up that there were people in need, people who needed compassion, and he was there for them. He also saw people who had ability, and his street smarts wouldn't allow them to get away with it. And he demanded accountability from those people. It was the greatest gift that he could give to these folks. He really is the American dream. He rose from the streets, and he could talk to a president, or he could talk to a homeless person with equal ease. And like my own dad, I admired the fact, and I kind of modeled myself, that he never bragged about himself. He didn't have to, because everybody else did it for him. He was a role model with common sense, which unfortunately today, common sense isn't so common. When you think about it, and you think about Rudy, you think about all the gifts and all of the accolades that he received. But there were no more accolades than anything that was more important to him than his family. When I see Cindy over there, I see Steve, and I see Jared over there. Cindy was the daughter that everyone should have. She was there always for them. Smart, beautiful, compassionate. And when I used to hear Miss Jordan talk about Cindy, the pride and the love that came out of her, the only time that I can hear that is when she talks about her own daughter today. JJ, boy, you bet. Boy, Jay sure gave his parents a run for their money. But in a game, or the game of life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They say that the championship rounds are 11 through 15. Jay showed up in those championship rounds. He showed what he was all about. Before Rudy and Gloria passed away, he was there. He was their champ. And I don't think there's any words that I can describe to tell you how proud I am of him. Joey, Lori, Rudy, your grand, and your two kids there. Beautiful kids. Joey, when I see you, I see Rudy. You're my big thing. When I used to talk to your mom, she said, "Hey, how's Jordan doing?" Well, he's here, he's there, he's there. He's dedicated. He's goal-oriented. And when I look at him and I think of him, I think of a winner. Not only as an athlete, but a winner as a husband, as a father, and now as a grandfather. And then you got Bobby over there. Bobby's the baby. Once the baby, always the baby. He's not a baby anymore. You might think Daddy number 5 in the family, but he's the home run. He is everything good that Rudy and Gloria had to offer. And although she loved her children, they loved their children equally, Bobby was special. Mrs. Jordan, I miss her, I love her. And I could sit here and talk all day about her. But I'll just say one story about her, because probably a lot of you were there when this happened. It basically says everything that I need to know about their love. There was a service when she passed away, just like tonight. And the next day, there was the service right before she was going to be buried. And almost like a Hollywood movie, one of those movies like Witness for the Prosecution, where you're bringing up a surprise witness and everybody goes, ah. Well, the surprise witness that day was Mr. Jordan. He came up to talk about Gloria. And as he was walking up there, he was walking over there, and I was thinking, Mr. Jordan, I don't know what I was saying to God, please, just can't do this. But as soon as he started talking, all my fears left me. Because it wasn't the razor sharp movie, and it wasn't that sharp tongue, but when he started talking, it was so clear. And so clear that his love for that woman. And the love just oozed from him. It was, in fact, it was like the Messiah that comes out and he was there talking about his love. And it was just a reminder to us that no matter what, our love for God is always with us. As I was coming here tonight, probably most of us hadn't had a conversation with Mr. Jordan in quite some time. And I was wondering, just thinking about it, what he would say to us tonight. And as I look around and see some of the younger folks in service, see his grandkids here, his great-grandkids here, I was wondering what he'd say. I know he would say. The first thing that he would say is passion. So whatever you do with passion. Work hard, and things will pay off. And there will be obstacles on the way. But you know what? Your values, and if you stick with those values, you'll be okay. And to his friends and to his family, all his loved ones here tonight, I know exactly what he would say. He would say, this is your lucky day. Because as you look around, you have the opportunity to mend the fences, to right the wrongs, to tie up all the loose ends, to not commit the biggest sin there is, and that sin would be of being ungrateful. That because you can't assume life, because you can't predict death. And as you look around and you see all your friends and all your family today, and whether you're with them and things are good, or whether things are bad, you have the opportunity to do something right. And if, in fact, God forbid, if something was to happen tomorrow to them, what would be the last thing that you would want them to see? And what would be the last words that you would want them to hear? He'd say, drop your baggage, travel light, do the things you need to do, and say the things you need to be said. When Cindy called me last Thursday, and she told me about Mr. Jordan passing away, my immediate thought was sadness. But in about 2.5 seconds, my selfish feelings changed to joy. Because I know that right then, he had taken off. And it didn't need a bus pass, didn't need to get on another plane, there was no connecting flights. When he left, he got there immediately. Their love is now a circle. It is now eternal. first time in 27 years, he got to hold his son. He got to give him the biggest hug that you could ever give him. And he got to hear, he got to see Rudy's face with a smile, only Rudy. And he got to hear those words from Rudy. I love you, Dad. Welcome home. There you have it. Heaven. The ancient Greeks have a saying, and that saying is, if you speak someone's name, they will never leave you. So I say, Rudy Jordan. Thank you.